Oh, you just pressed play on This Week with Drunk Astrology. My name is Graham Breitenstein. I'm your astrologer and the creator of Drunk Astrology. If you're looking for someone to make astrology make sense to you and for you, well, my friend, you have come to the right place. Here on this podcast, we discuss the weekly cosmic weather. And when we break it down, we break it down. I believe that astrology can be used as a tool to inform your daily decisions and enhance your day-to-day life. So if you're ready to have a hell of a lot of fun with astrology, make some strategic decisions, and to just keep it real, well, that journey starts right now.
I've got a pocket full of sunshine. I got a pocket and I know that it feels fine. I don't remember the lyrics, but I was still wanted to sing to you. Happy Sunday, folks. I actually don't have a pocket full of sunshine, but I do have a sunshine coffee mug, and I am definitely drinking my fresh French-pressed coffee out of it. Because you know that yours truly is a purveyor of the bougie coffee, and that's how I roll. Especially thanks to my friend Shauna over at Tansy, who gifted me for my birthday last week. She gifted me a coffee grinder, and so now the homemade bougie coffee is getting so leveled up. It's everything. So as far as what we have coming ahead this week, this is the podcast for the week of September 19th through the 25th, 2022. Venus is the headliner. She is all over this week. She's got aspects to Uranus, to Saturn. The sun enters Libra, which means Venus rules the land. That's on Thursday, so that fall equinox. And then we have her opposing Neptune. We have her with Pluto. We have a Libra new moon. It's just Venus, 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 Venus. So what's that mean? That means love. That means the things that you desire, your relationships, your partnerships, the aesthetics. You know, the energy with Libra, and it's funny because now that I've launched the reading subscriptions, which if you didn't know about, you better go check out at drunkastro.com. Just click that book a reading button and just scroll down a little bit, and you're going to see there's 3 options. You can get daily readings, weekly readings, monthly readings, but now that I'm doing them, it's so funny because the Venus energy is really like showing up in individual readings as well. And it's just like, where is this falling? Not only in your chart, but with the cards. And so some people are having like the aesthetics of their work environment become like hyper focused. Some people's like home environment. Now, you know that I'm someone that loves feng shui, and I'm actually going to be a guest speaker on one of my favorite feng shui practitioners' podcasts. Her name's Christina Hollinger. I don't know when it's going to air yet, but we do record this week, so I'm really excited about that. But just the space that you spend, or any space that you spend a lot of time in, even if it's just on like a little mini vacay, just sprucing up, and if you know the Bagua map or you have it downloaded to your phone, like just making some changes around your environment moves the energy so much. I helped my friend in New York, Tariq. I helped him from afar. Like, he remodeled his whole bedroom, and I like helped him decide like what goes where, what corner, what area of the room. I'm telling you, when you make big changes like that, energetically speaking, from that moment and the following 6 months, watch how much your life changes. And that's true not only for myself, because I continue to do that around my place. I move things around, and it's interesting when you look at an area that has nothing and it's not really, it just lacks inspiration. And this is what I just recently did in my place, by the door. It was just plain. There was a couch there that only fit me, so my partner and I can't even get comfortable on the thing, and I've been wanting to get rid of it. I tried to sell it on OfferUp and everything, and it just wasn't working. So we just got rid of it like a week ago, and as soon as it was gone, the next day I woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I can put, that's on the Bagua map, that's the career zone, which is ruled by water. So I can put all my propagations in the windowsill. I can put plants over there. It gets great morning light. And so now, and it's just interesting that it's career, because there's been so much in transition with me on the career front, not just with Drunk Astrology, but with like my entertainment career as well. And already things are shifting. Already things are moving. I'm getting more clear on like, oh yeah, this is my voice in that world. This is my place in that world. This is what I have to offer to that world. So it's really interesting. So now that Venus is now that she's really the headliner this week, I want you to think about that as well. How can you change the energy of your living space, your workspace, hell, even your car? That's one thing that is super in focus for me, because I am not even going to lie. I don't think I've washed my car since 2020. Now, I have an all-black car, but it shows. It shows every little bit of that LA smog, dust, dirt, grime. All the plants that I have transported in the back and in the front of that car, there is still some soil on the floorboards for sure. So, yeah. So by the end of this week, that's going to be my mission to change the aesthetics of my car, because it desperately needs it. But I want you to think about that. It's really important this week. Now, some of these aspects she is adjusting. So they're a little bit of an annoyance. They're a little bit frustrating. They're a little bit like, oh, really? Especially with Saturn. When she adjusts with Saturn, it's just like, oh my gosh, okay. Now I have to adjust what I want to do with what I have to do. Right? Because Saturn is, that disciplinarian that like, but you got to work first. You got to do this first. But when she meets up with Neptune towards the end of the week on Saturday, she has an aha moment that Mercury and the Sun have already alluded to. And we like aha moments. And then with Pluto and Uranus, she's super juicy because everybody's in Earth, and it's just working really well. So there's like great ideas this week. At the top of the week, at the end, that season of positive change that we're experiencing with the Mercury retrograde. Now listen, despite all of the annoyances, despite all the freaking curveballs, Mercury retrograde is still, in general, a season of positive change. So yes, you're going to have to like double down. Yes, you're probably going to have to do things multiple times. Yes, you're probably not going to get enough time to do them. Happened to me just a couple of days ago. I had actually all last week. Just think about your last week. I don't know about you, but every single day there was some sort of something to combat, something to, overcome, something like some kind of curveball that threw off my entire plans for that day. Especially towards the end of the week. That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're just like, oh, wow, okay. And then even yesterday, yep, for sure. I can't even leave Saturday out. And then all the way till this morning. It's Sunday morning for me, but by the time you hear it, it'll be the afternoon. So, despite all of those Mercury retrograde moments that we already know, they're and I not warn you? Last week's podcast, did I not say, the planets actually aren't really active until the weekend? And that's when things get chaotic. But typically in my life experience, not necessarily my astrological studies, but in my life experience, when the planets are quiet and there's a potent full moon and there's a new Mercury retrograde, oh, this is buffoonery times 1,000. We just have time and space to deal with it and to manage it. And it's not as bad. It's annoying, but it's like, okay, whatever, I have time. But then by the time the weekend hit, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. The universe says, I gave you all the time I could give you, and now you're just going to have to deal. I did warn you. In case you forgot, go back and listen to last week's podcast. But now this week it's a pretty busy week. There's almost every single day there is major planetary action. Wednesday is the exception. Every other day has some kind of potent thing taking place, but the ouch day, I'm so sorry for the Libras. It's Thursday, the 22nd. The sun enters Libras that day. The sun meets up with Mercury retrograde, which is always just like, oh, great. Everyone's going to think they're right. Someone's going to have something to say, but they don't even know what they're talking about because it's Mercury retrograde. So everyone should really just step back and kind of evaluate the facts instead of like jumping to conclusions or jumping to like, I'm pissed, so I'm just going to like say what I want to say. But also that day, the 22nd, the moon makes crabby aspects all day. And it is void. So usually when there's crabby aspects on all day, but they're under a void moon, it's kind of like, okay, this is going to breeze by. This is going to, it doesn't turn into anything major, but it is just one of those when you're in it, you might be like, I am going to throw something or someone off a balcony, and then maybe I'll feel better. So you just want to mark Thursday as the like, okay, if I'm going to do less or I'm going to offload, because the moon's in Leo that day too. So like, everyone's already like, me, this is what I want. And it's the Leo moon's not really getting what it wants. So, we're going to have to kind of like, we're just going to have to navigate. Thursday's a day to navigate. Again, it's a fixed moon making crabby aspects, so you just like flexibility is your key word. Your key to survival any day, but on a day like Thursday is flexibility. Like, you know what? Okay, not what I want, but how can I make it work for me? Just keep asking yourself on Thursday or even throughout the week if you feel like, because Mercury retrograde is making a shift too. If you feel yourself like, or on Tuesday when Venus adjusts to Saturn, how can I make this work for me? How do I make this work for me or work for us since it's Venus and she's all about balance and harmony within relationships? How do we make this work for us? Right? So you just have to, keep that question like a loop in your mind whenever you like come across like an uptick this week. Now, couple things, bad astrologer Graham, that I should have mentioned to you earlier, but I didn't, and I realized as I was preparing for this week's podcast, Mars has already entered his retrograde shadow. So he entered it on September 4th, and so everything you've been working towards action steps, strategy steps, everything is now going to be part of, since September 4th, it's going to be part of his retrograde story, which takes us all the way till March 14th of 2023. Okay? So until then, Mars and Gemini in his retrograde shadow, we are exploring your options. You're considering everything. You're living curious. Okay, that's the whole point. Mars and Gemini, there's multiple ways to get what you want. You have to explore as many avenues as you can handle without driving yourself crazy, without going mental. Because remember, Gemini's answering right now to Mercury retrograde, who could be just, he's a little confused. He's a little befuddled. So you just have to kind of go take a slower approach, right? This isn't a time to be knee-jerk and like irrational, because you can be. This is more like, okay, let me just go slow. Let me take my time. Let me do my research. Let me ask my questions. Let me phone a friend. Let me, ask people that I know around my neighborhood, my roommates, my neighbors. You really want to tap your network. For any moves you're making all the way until now. Mars is going to station retrograde October 30th, but then he'll station direct in, I believe it's mid-January, and then he won't clear that shadow until mid-March. So you just want to, you do all the things I just said. Now, also, I meant to mention this last week, but we've got that Saturn-Uranus square back. And those of you that are longtime listeners or you just keep up on the astro weather in general, the Saturn-Uranus square from 2021 was the highlight aspect. Happened 3 times. It was February, it was June, and it was December last year. So Saturn, foundation, Uranus, blow it up. or change it, massive change to structures that you don't really, you might have known they needed to change, but you weren't necessarily ready for them to change. And Uranus came and said, no, listen, I gave you a preview in February. I started rattling the boat in June. And by the time December came around, I told you, I warned you, and then, bam. And so now the dust has settled, though. So now that the Saturn-Uranus square, now it's not exact, but they're 1 degree apart from an exact square. Saturn's at 19 degrees Aquarius, retrograde. Uranus is at 18 degrees Taurus, retrograde. So 2 fixed energies that are really like their feet on the ground, and they like their routines. They just like their structures, and it's like tectonic plates rubbing up against each other. So from September 11th through November 14th. Now I'm choosing November 14th because I want 3 degrees of separation from them. And because of the retrograde motion, they're not going to get that 3 degrees of separation until Saturn stations direct. And he pulls away from Uranus a little bit. So I'm looking for 3 degrees. Other astrologers are probably going to tell you some other things. But yours truly is looking for 3 degrees of separation in the transiting chart. So, you're going to feel friction. You're going to feel shaken up. You might be a little uncomfortable. You might be out of your comfort zone. But now you're so much wiser. Think you're 9 months away from the last time Saturn and Uranus met in that exact square. So now that we're kind of dancing back into that, this is more like, did you learn your lesson? And now how have you improved your structure? How have you improved your foundation? And now maybe depending on how much work you put in, Uranus could be saying, okay, let's just make some tweaks. Let's make some minor changes here and there just to make sure that this is exactly, the building blocks really are in place. The structure is solid. But if you didn't put in much of the work over the last 9 months, you could find that this period of time is a little bit more challenging. So remember, Saturn is just looking for you to give to 2 solid feet on the ground. That's what he's looking for. What do I need? And this is what you should ask yourself from a Saturn point of view. What do you need in order to feel established and grounded? And Uranus is saying, most likely, you need to change something. Things around you need to change. It's in Taurus, so you're looking at the home. You're looking at relationships. You're looking at a sense of worth, a sense of value. So yes, there's a financial component to that. So, because you're talking about Venus, and she does rule the money, and Taurus is domestic. But worth and value also goes into your relationships. Don't just pigeonhole that to romance. That's all relationships across the board. What's my sense of worth in each of these dynamics? How much am I being valued, and how much do I value others? Are they aligned? So on a professional front, on a platonic front, on a family front, on a relationship, like romantic relationship front, that's really the question to survey. And is my foundation of relationships solid and sturdy? And if it's not, Uranus is going to quake that a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of an earthquake energy here. So just, you're just remind yourself that you're wiser. This isn't like last year, because last year it was like, what the actual F is happening right now? This time around, it should be, as long as the work has been put in, it should be more like, let's make this change. Let's make this a little adjustment. Let's let's like fill in the cracks. Oh, there was a tiny little crack there in that one cement block in my foundation. Let me just like seal that and patch that up really quick, so then, everything else can fall in place and fit nice, like a nice little Tetris board. Okay, so I think I'm ready for the moons now. I'm ready for the moons. Okay, let's talk about the moons. I lied to you. One last thing before we get to the moons. Those of you that are doing the Virgo Season Self-Care Challenge. Yes, it is over. Thursday is going to be the last day for you to submit your challenge things for the day. But I originally said that I would be going live to give the 3 winners their winnings and to pull the name from the hat or whatever. But yours truly has been surprised with a birthday road trip. So, and I'm actually leaving after this podcast is recorded. So I'm going to be gone all week. So, thank you to my amazing boyfriend, Herman. But I'm going to be gone all week. So, that being said, to give myself some Mercury retrograde space, so I don't overpromise and underdeliver, on Monday, the 26th, I'm going to do the Instagram Live and pull the names out of the hat and all of that. Now, I have notated everyone who has stayed committed and everyone who has posted every single day. And, I didn't reshare everyone to Instagram was like hating me, I think, for all the like repost I was doing. So I pulled back on the reposting. But, I've talked to every single one of you that has posted and, we've gone back and forth. So self-care challenge ends Thursday. That's your last day. Don't forget to post that day. So Thursday's the last day. I will go live Monday the 26th. I will email you all the time so that you all know when it's coming. And then we'll do the winners. So I'm really excited. Thank you to everyone who's participated. We had 40 people sign up, and I want to say we're close to like 20-something. It's like 20-something that have really been committed and stuck with it. So you guys have done amazing. I'm even now seeing some like major, like now people that are branching off and saying, hey, I'm doing this self-care challenge. I encourage everyone that follows me to, do one thing a day for yourself. So it's just really cool to see how people are developing healthy habits for themselves. It's just one thing. Even for myself, I can't even tell you as a Virgo, it's been difficult sometimes to just, in a busy, crazy day, to just say, wait a minute, I haven't done something for myself today. Let me take some time to do it. Even if it's something so small, there's some things, some people are just like, I just came to sit on my front porch with like a glass of water and to just give myself 5-10 minutes because today's been crazy. That right there, it's just so powerful because the habit formed is just asking yourself like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything for myself today. I haven't done anything that I enjoy or done anything that I wanted to. Everything was an obligatory thing. So it's been really, really cool. And I can't wait to do it next year because, my God, we're just going to keep going. It's an annual tradition now. This is the 2nd year. So, okay, now that's done. Let's talk about the moons. So, Monday, September 19th, the moon is in Cancer. Makes a couple adjusting aspects, but then some really nice ones as well. Tuesday, September 20th, the Cancer moon goes void at 8:57 a.m. with a sextile to the sun. So that's really happy. That's really warm. That's really like, that Virgo sun, the Cancer moon. It's just like all warm and snuggy and just nice. It's really nice. Forward moving in an exciting way. Remember, all the times that I give you are Pacific Daylight Time. At 1:38 p.m. on Tuesday, the moon enters Leo, makes 2 juicy aspects to Mercury and Jupiter. Then on Wednesday, makes really nice aspects. The quiet day, Wednesday the 21st, and it's kind of the calm before the storm. Because then Thursday hits, the Leo moon has a square to Uranus. It goes void at 4:07 a.m. opposite Saturn, so there is a release there. There's separation, there's argument, there's friction. Then throughout the day, there's an adjustment to Neptune, an adjustment to Pluto. So just watch out for that Thursday. But it's void all day. It's void from 4:07 a.m. until Friday the 23rd at 12:53 a.m. The moon enters Virgo. Now, the only aspect that Virgo moon makes is an adjustment to Jupiter. So, and then right after that, Mercury retrograde re-enters Virgo at 5:04 in the morning. So there's I get the feeling that only aspect to Jupiter, that adjusting, is something that carries you through the entire day. Adjustments to Jupiter are like, oh my God, this one adjustment is time consuming. This one adjustment means I have so much to do. So you can have a lot to do on Friday, so just watch out for it. And then on Saturday, the Virgo moon makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aspects. So it's a little busy, and that's also the Venus-Neptune day, which we'll talk about. And then on Sunday, the 25th, the Virgo moon goes void at 5:49 a.m. with a conjunction to Mercury. So a lot of communication under that Virgo moon. That's that busyness. Okay, that conjunction to Mercury can be a lot of things that you want to do, but it's there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of mutability. So mutability meaning just like a lot of flexibility needed, a lot of adjusting, a lot of like, oh my gosh, the things on my to-do list keep growing. I get one thing off and then 3 more things add on. So it can be a really busy weekend. Up until the moon enters Libra at 9:43 a.m. and has an opposition to Jupiter just after it has the Libra new moon at 2:55 p.m. So that Libra new moon with an opposition to Jupiter. So the opposition to Jupiter is a positive aspect. Now there is that oppositions, of course, bring that like full moon feel to energy, but where it's like an enlightening aha moment. So this could be a lot of activity on a relationship or in a relationship, a lot being done, or a lot coming to light. So I've dubbed this Libra new moon blessed unions. Okay, so you might be working in tandem, in partnership with someone that has a blessed component. And just remember that new moons take us to 6 months later. So on April 5th of 2023, we're going to have a Libra full moon, and the seeds you plant, the manifesting that you do under this Libra new moon starting Sunday the 25th is going to come to climax at the top of April next year. So when you think about relationships, so if you're single and you're really looking you're looking not just for a relationship, you're looking to be vulnerable. You're looking to reveal yourself to someone in a way that you never have before, and you're ready for that. You're ready to receive that kind of energy as well. Then this is when you want to manifest under Sunday's new moon, because, ladies and gents, this is the last new moon before eclipse season begins. Okay? So this is the last chance that you're going to get to manifest before eclipse season begins next month in October and things get real spicy. Okay? Because I know I've said it before, but the rest of this year is really crazy. Cosmically speaking, that doesn't mean every single day of your life is going to be like, oh no, turmoil. No, lose it. Graham said my whole life is going to fall apart. Not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying there is a lot of cosmic activity for the rest of the year. And baby. So you're going to go on a manifesting sabbatical for most of October and November because of eclipse season is there. And it is my firm belief, not only in my cosmic studies, but in my just life experience with astrology on my side, that eclipses are a time that you back off, you offload on the manifesting and say, I trust that anything that comes to pass during this season is all meant for me, not against me. Okay? So you go, okay, I've been manifesting up until this point, so now I'm going to let things lay as they will. And then when the season's over, you get your bearings a little bit and you go, oh, okay. Okay. Now with this, now I can go. My next step is a little bit more clear. Like, okay, this is what I have to work with now. So now I'm going to move forward with intention in a new way. Okay, so that's just coming up. Just giving you the whole insight. So the Libra new moon is at 2 degrees 49 minutes, talking directly to my Moon Mars conjunction at 2 degrees of Virgo. So this is going to be interesting. And the closing aspect to that Libra moon is a square to Pluto. So again, there is separation, there is change necessary in order for this union to work. All right? Or there's some kind of release, some kind of a let go of in order. You got to break a cycle in relationships some way, shape, or form under this new moon. Makes sense? You're creating space to then call in the new. So it could be an aha moment because the day before, let's talk about the planetary aspects now. The day before, Saturday the 24th, Venus has her opposition to Neptune. So it's an aha moment. It's at 1:51 a.m., so kind of over Friday, Saturday. And Mercury did it August 21st, and the Sun just did it this past Friday, September 16th. So when the Sun comes to a hazy, mysterious, confusing energy like Neptune, and he shines his light on it, Friday should have been a big awakening, like some kind of. And one of my friends had a big health awakening. Right? And Pisces is infections, it's diseases. So you could be getting clarity about, any kind of medical thing that's been going on that could be part of your story. But Neptune is the dream also. So the Sun is clarifying the dreams, clarifying the vision in your vision in some way. And the Sun shined its light on it. So Mercury gave you a hint back in August. Sun was like, hello, and now Venus is going to come and say, all right, here's how we actually start moving on this. Let's work with this together. There's a tag team energy to Venus when she has her aha moment. Let's shoot to the top of the week now. Venus has a trine to Uranus Monday the 19th at 9:44 p.m. That's a great idea that happens in partnership. Tuesday, she has her quincunx to Saturn at 1:12 p.m., so right there in the smack dab in the middle of the afternoon, she has to adjust what she wants and what she has to do. Thursday, Libra season begins at 6:04 p.m., so just to clarify, for those of you who think everyone born on Thursday the 22nd is a Libra, not the case. Cusp babies really are, everyone needs to know their birth time in astrology, but when you're a cusp baby, on the day the sun switches, anyone born before 6:04 p.m. on Thursday is still a Virgo. After 6:04 p.m., a Libra. So someone born at 6:03 p.m. will be a 29-degree, 59-minute Virgo. But then a minute later at 6:04, 0-degree, 0-minute Libra. See what I'm saying? And then later on that night, the Sun has a conjunction to Mercury retrograde at 11:50 p.m. So Thursday, Friday, watch out for everyone thinking they're right, speaking out of term, or just acting like they know something and they really don't. It's not the day to argue. The Leo moon is going to want to probably with all those crabby aspects, but that's the day to just say what are the facts? What are the facts? On Friday, Mercury retrograde re-enters Virgo at 5:04 a.m. Just to give you a little highlight on that, Mercury will station direct October 2nd, so not next week, but the following. Actually lies. It'll be next Sunday, so not this coming Sunday, but the following. It'll re-enter Libra on October 10th, and it'll clear its retrograde shadow October 17th. And despite the annoyances, still a season of positive change. and then on Sunday, Venus has her trine to Pluto at 10:46 p.m. That really kind of takes us into Monday, the 26th as well. And that's positive change. That is juicy, working well with authority figures, power authorities, bosses, but just really great news on the relationship, on power. Great work within like power structures, power dynamics. And that's it. I think that's all I got. So I will, when I come back, I will be filming another Libra New Moon webinar. That'll be free to all the anyone that's on the Cosmic News Train, which is Drunk Astrology's newsletter. And if you're not on that already, go to the link in the show notes so that you can get on the Cosmic News Train. And then you'll get a free reading, free offerings that I have for people that are specifically on the news train. Okay, so that's it from me. I am off, not to see the wizard, but to enjoy a week of birthday serenity. Okay, folks, have a wonderful week. I will see you soon. And again, if you haven't checked out those subscriptions, go check out those reading subscriptions, drunkastro.com. All right, much love to y'all. Bye.
This is Graham Breitenstein, and you've been listening to This Week with Drunk Astrology. If you want to follow Drunk Astrology, head to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and hit that follow button. And if you want to learn how to put astrology in motion for you, head to drunkastro.com and get on the insider list. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google platforms. Tune in next week for yet another opportunity to work in sync with the stars. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.